In our description list, as we saw previously, and I've updated the page just a little bit more to take out the old information, you can see that the information's there. We have some natural embedding and margins that make it a little bit easier. However, it's still not easy to read. And so let's look at how we can create some basic styles to make this easy to read. Now, you are not limited to these by any stretch of the imagination. Please understand that. You can do whatever you want, any legal styles. However, I just want to show you some basic CSS that will instantly help this be more usable. So I'm going to go to my CSS page, and I'm not going to worry about the DL part because that's just a container for all my DD and DT tags. But I am going to select DT. But I am going to create a selector for DT, my definition or description term if you prefer. And I'm going to specify font weight to be bold. I want this to be bold. I want this to be a little bit easier to see. If I go to my web page and reload it, instantly this helps it stand out. And I can instantly see which is easier to work with and which one I'm working with. So my eyes are drawn to bold elements. I can find them easier. I can find my terms. I can sit down and read this. It's a lot easier, but there's things we can do a little bit better. That text is all condensed and close together. Now, what I'm going to do to make this just stand out a little bit more is I'm going to specify margin -top. And I'm only going to put 10 pixels. I don't need a lot. And maybe you need a little bit more, and that's fine because of your font size and stuff. But I'm just starting off with 10 simple pixels. You might go, well, what is that going to do? Well, if I come back here to my web page, you notice that all my text is condensed and combined together. When I reload, notice that it puts a little bit of spacing in between each of my terms and my text. It automatically makes it just that much a little bit easier to see and read. And we're looking at usability. Now, obviously, I can do other things. I can make a background color, but is that going to help? I can change the foreground color. Is that going to help? The answer is maybe. Maybe it would. Either way, you have options on how to work with this. Notice that all I had to do was modify my DT tag with the CSS. I didn't have to do the DL. I didn't have to do the DD. It was one simple tag, 2 attributes, 2 new properties, and we instantly made this a little bit easier. Now, could we make this even easier? You bet. So I'm going to come over here real quick, specify a font size. I'm just going to make it 110% just to make it a little bit easier. And I'm going to choose a background color, and I'm going to simply specify antique white. It's not white. It's not off-white, but it's just going to be a little bit easier to see. When I reload this, notice that you can see it. It's just a little bit bigger text, so it's just a little bit more obvious. It's got a slight background color, and it matches with some of the other colors that are already existing on this web page, and that's what we want. This is nice and simple. It's easy to read. Now, you might not like that background color, and you can remove it. That's fine. We're looking just for simple things to make it easier for our end users. This is a great example. If you want to go just a little bit further and use CSS and JavaScript together, you could maybe hide the descriptions, and then if you click on a term, it makes the next description, the one that's associated with that term, appear. But that's a little bit of JavaScript, and we're not going to be dealing with those types of interactions. This is just something really simple and easy to see. We can do this for creating terms and definitions, for maybe an FAQ page or many other things, and now we have it easier for the end user to use, and that's our end goal.